Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the Endless TBR. My name is Christian and this is my channel where I love to talk about books. And in this video, I'm going to be outlining and ranking the books that I read in July of 2025 and outlining the books that I plan to read in August of 2025. And I'm very stoked for this video because I read 11 books this month, which for me and this channel is an all-time record. I used to read a lot as a kid, so maybe back in the day there was a month where I read more than 11 books, but certainly since I've started reading again as an adult, and certainly since I started this channel, 11 books is an all-time record for me. A couple of things helped with that. I did not have a class this month for school, so I had a lot more free time. I also am on day 5 currently of a 7-day PTO that I'm taking from work. So I had the last 4 days to just read nonstop and actually finished 3 books in the last 4 days. That's how much I've been just sitting around and reading. But regardless, it still counts. It's still in the month of July. So yeah, 11 books. So I'm going to outline them in the order that I enjoyed reading them. This is going to be like a worst to best, not an objective list, not me saying like objectively this is the worst book and the best book and all in between, but just a ranking of the order that I enjoyed reading them based off of my personal preferences and quirks and all that stuff. So let's jump into number 11. This is going to be a book that I don't have a physical copy of, so I'm just going to put a picture on the screen here. That book is Rage by Richard Bachman, which is the pseudonym for Stephen King. And this book is actually out of print by orders of Stephen King himself. It deals with very sensitive topic of school shootings, and for many reasons he decided to take the book out of print. This book, I actually just finished it last night, so it's very fresh in my mind, but also I'm still kind of going back and forth between how I would rank this book. For a lot of the book, I was pretty sure I was going to rank it at a 2-star. I just was not enjoying it, and that's not anything to do with the particular content. I actually enjoy reading books with like difficult subject matters and themes and stuff like that, but I just wasn't enjoying it. Mostly, I didn't buy into the reactions of a lot of the characters. The book is basically about this very disturbed boy named Charlie Decker who takes a gun into his classroom, shoots his teacher, and then holds his classmates hostage. And I think Stephen King was trying to do like a commentary on Stockholm Syndrome, but I was not buying the reactions of any of the students that he was holding hostage. And then even though the book is like 150 pages, the first 100 pages were a real slog to get through. There's a lot of flashback sequences to take a look at Charlie's trauma and the trauma of the students that he's holding hostage, and it wasn't doing it for me. I just wasn't liking it. The last like 25 to 50 pages though flipped it up to where I ended up giving it a 3-star ranking because I thought the ending was very strong, and there was a final flashback sequence from Charlie's perspective that I found to be just really fascinating and just bumped the story up for me. So as of right now, this is my least favorite thing that I've read by Stephen King, but there is still an aspect of it that I enjoyed, and I do definitely see why it's a controversial book and one of his lower rated things. He also apparently wrote it in high school, so I can't be too harsh on it because, I mean, heck, I'm 30 years old, I haven't written anything yet, so I can't talk too much crap about it. But yes, so that's going to be my least favorite read of the month was going to be Rage by Richard Bachman, Stephen King. Number 10 is going to be A Court of Frost and Starlight. And what do I say about this book? My friend described it as ACOTAR the Christmas special, and that's definitely what it is. I do not hate this book. I didn't dislike reading it. It's a very thin book, so it's very easy to get through. But did I think this book needed to be written? I would say no. If you enjoy the characters and you just enjoy the world of Prythian and you want to go hang out with the characters a little bit more, you're probably going to enjoy this. But really the last like few pages are, I think, the main reason why this book was written. It wasn't bad. It just, you know, I didn't love it. And especially coming off of the Mist and Fury and the Wings and Ruin books, which I very much enjoyed, I thought that one was just kind of a letdown. But I gave it a 3 stars, so not bad, just okay. All right, next up we have Escape from Valo, which is one of the middle grade novels in Star Wars The High Republic. This is the first book in phase 3, so I'm on the home stretch. I'm getting there. Going to finish the High Republic hopefully within the next couple months. But this book I thought was a lot of fun. Typically, the middle grade novels I have ranked a little bit lower than like the YA and the adult novels, and I still wouldn't rank this one as high as some of those YA and adult novels that I've read in the High Republic. But Escape from Valo is actually very fun. It's a cast of younglings that are stuck on this planet and that is under Nihil occupation, and they're fighting back and they're resisting the Nihil and getting into all these sometimes goofy and sometimes like heart-wrenching situations, and I just really enjoyed it. It's by far the thickest of all of the middle grade novels. It's almost 400 pages, so significantly larger, and so there's a lot more character in here. There's a lot more plot, and I just found it to be a lot of fun. Still not up there with the adult novels, but this is meant for a younger audience, and I think kids especially will absolutely adore this book. And what I always say with these middle grade novels is I'm like, if this is what gets kids into Star Wars, then I love it, and I support it a lot. So it's the reason why I want to read all the middle grade novels. All right, next up we have The Voyage of the Dawn Treader by C.S. Lewis, book number 5 in the Chronicles of Narnia. So I read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe and Prince Caspian a little bit earlier this year, and I decided for August my nostalgia read of the month is going to be The Chronicles of Narnia. I want to finish off the series, which means I had 5 of the books still to read, so I decided to help future me out a little bit and knock out one of them this month. So I read The Voyage of the Dawn Treader. I'm reading them in publication order as opposed to I guess you'd say chronological order, instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, reading them in publication order. And as a kid, I don't remember ever reading The Silver Chair or The Last Battle. I definitely remember reading 1 through 5, but I don't ever remember reading 6 and 7. So the next book I have to read is The Silver Chair, which has me excited because it'll be something I've never read in Narnia before. But I enjoyed this book quite a bit. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is still top tier for me. Prince Caspian was a noticeable dip in enjoyment, and then The Dawn Treader is like right in between there. I thought it was a fun swashbuckling adventure with Lucy and Edmund and their cousin Eustace and Prince Caspian just going on a series of little journeys across these islands and having a good time and meeting all kinds of weird and bizarre characters. So Voyage of the Dawn Treader, good time. I don't know how it's going to end up in my ranking of the overall Narnia books, but I have a feeling it'll be towards the higher end. All right, next up we had my nostalgia read for July of 2025, and the first book I read this month, and that is Holes. And as I mentioned in my last update video, Holes has a special place in my heart because my fiance and I watch that movie at least once a month, sometimes twice a month. We have a problem, but I saw this on the shelf. I remember reading it as a kid, and I was like, you know what? I watch this movie so often. I want to go back and read the book. It's just so good. It's delightful, and it is one of the few instances where I do think I like the movie more because there's a few moments in the movie that I feel are more iconic that don't actually happen in the book. But overall, like, if you like that story and you like that movie and you haven't read this, you should go back and read it because it's just as much fun. It's a great time, and it makes me want to read more of this author's books because he wrote the Wayside School series, which I actually have somewhere in a box, and I was like, I think I kind of want to go back and reread those because I had so much fun reading this. But it's just a great story, a lot of fun for kids, and a lot of fun for adults too. So that is Holes. All right, next up, let's see. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Number 6, and this is 20th Century Ghosts by Joe Hill. This is the son of Stephen King, and this is a short story collection. I'm on my Stephen King kick right now, and so I wanted to read some Joe Hill. My fiance has every Joe Hill book. She absolutely loves him. I've only read Nosferatu, so I was like, let me read another book by him. So I picked up 20th Century Ghosts, and this was a really, really awesome series of short stories. Some great, not all horror too. Like there's some just like dramas in here that I thought were really compelling, but 2 stories that stood out to me a lot are The Black Phone, which was turned into the Ethan Hawke movie, so obviously a very popular story. And then there's another story in here called Pop Art, which follows this kid named Art who's a balloon, and it's just him like always almost dying because he's an inflatable boy, and it's just really weird. Like I wouldn't categorize it as horror, but I don't know, like a drama or thriller. I don't know, but I thought it was really compelling and actually had a heart-wrenching ending that I thought was like hit me out of nowhere. So if you're looking for fun short stories, 20th Century Ghosts was awesome. It has me very excited to read more Joe Hill stuff coming soon. All right, next up, in July, I had a big urge to watch Blade Runner, which is one of my favorite movies, and Blade Runner 2049. And afterwards, I was like, man, I wonder if there's any Blade Runner like tie-in fiction that I could read. Well, lo and behold, I did not know that Blade Runner was based off of this book, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick, and it says Blade Runner right across the right across the top here. So the day after I watched those movies, I went to BAM and I picked this up and I read it the next day, the whole thing. And it's awesome. Like, it's so good. I've never read Philip K. Dick before, but this book has catapulted him into my mind, and I'm ready to read some more Philip K. Dick because this book is just so cool, and it's not a play-by-play of the movie. So if you like the movie and you're like, I don't want to read the book if it's just the same thing, it's definitely not. Like, the beginning follows like pretty closely, but then the ending is completely different, and I loved the ending of this. I don't know if I can say I liked it better than the movie. That's tough because Blade Runner, I think I'd have to read it a couple more times to fully appreciate it because the movie is one of my favorites of all time. But it was really, really great. And like I said, it made me want to read more Philip K. Dick stuff. And I just love how this franchise dives into the idea of AI and morale and androids and, you know, how human are they and all that good stuff. So if you like the themes of the movie, definitely check this one out. It's a lot of fun. All right, number 4. This is, so in July, me and my fiance and 2 of our friends started a book club. First book club I've ever been a part of. And so our friend picked the first book for the month, and that was this one, Mary, An Awakening of Terror. I didn't know what to think about it. I went on Goodreads. I saw it wasn't ranked super high. It was like 3.7, and I hate to go into books with like any like preconceived notions, but I, you know, when seeing that, I was like, I don't know if this is going to be good or not. But, you know, this book is awesome. Like, I could not put this one down. The fact that this is number 4 is crazy because that means there's 3 other books that I still enjoyed more. But this book, like any other month, this would probably be my number 1. Because it is so much fun, and it follows this lady named Mary who just, poor Mary, man, she has so many issues. Like, she's going through it, everything. She's in like premenopause, so she's having like physical problems, but then also there's this whole supernatural element side to this book. She's hearing voices, and she gets fired from her job at the beginning, and she gets a call from her aunt who's dying to come back to her hometown and take care of her aunt while she's basically in hospice at her home. And she gets there, and all kinds of weird stuff starts happening, and like I said, there's a big supernatural element to it, and I don't want to give anything away, but Mary is one of my favorite characters in recent memory that I can think of, because if like you just don't know what's happening with her. She's endearing, but she's also a psycho, and if you like the unreliable narrator trope, this is the best example I can think of it, because you just don't know what's real, what's not real, because Mary is she's all over the place. But it is a wild ride. It is a lot of fun, and I don't want to say anything more because I don't want to spoil it for anybody that's never heard of that book before. And that one is by Nat Cassidy. There's the author's name. Definitely going to read some more of his stuff in the future. All right, next up is a book that I actually started in June, but I finished in July. It's about time. That is The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. There we go. Book 2 in the original Mistborn trilogy. This book is awesome. I wouldn't say that I like it more than the first Mistborn. I'd put it just a hair below, but still an absolutely incredible 5 out of 5 read for sure. This book is a lot slower paced than the first one, which is why it took me so long to get through it. It took me over a month or so to read it. Oops, sorry, my dog's knocking over all my books. It took me like a month or so to get through it because it's one of those books that I was happy just picking it up, reading a few chapters, and setting it down and letting it like rumigate in my head. This whole book, for the most part, takes place in one setting, and it deals with the political aftermath of the events that happened at the end of Mistborn. And it's also very much a character study about Vin and Ellen, and I don't know how to pronounce his name, Sazed, S-A-Z-E-D, Sazed. Very much a character study about them, and it was awesome. It was so good. I cannot wait for the third one. Spoiler alert, I have it on my TBR for August for sure, but I absolutely adored this book. And finishing it, I almost went out and bought the next 4 Mistborn books, like the Wax and Wayne series, but I held off on it, just money reasons. All right, moving on to my second favorite book of the month, and this is a book that I was not planning on reading this month, but I ended up picking up and doing it anyway. That is The Shining by Stephen King right there. Last month in June, I picked up Salem's Lot at the end of the month and just blew through it. So I was in a Stephen King type of mood, and so I owned The Shining already, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start slowly chipping away at it. Slowly my ass. I blew through this book so quickly because it was so much fun. The movie is one of my all-time favorite scary movies, and so I was very interested to get into The Shining and read it and see what was the same and what was different. Oh, hi, buddy. My dog came to visit. He had surgery 2 days ago, so he's a little loopy still. Hi, buddy. Anyway, okay, so I'm just going to be petting him at the bottom down here. But, so, The Shining, yes. Very different from the movie, but a lot of similarities. This book, to me, is more of a character study of the different relationships between Wendy, Jack, and Danny. It is like Jack and Danny's relationship, Wendy and Jack's relationship, Danny and Wendy's relationship. There's so many strains there, and you can just see their relationship slowly starting to unravel throughout the course of this book. And there's still like all the supernatural elements and stuff like that, but what I found the most fascinating was those relationships, and I thought it was just amazing. Like, this is top tier Stephen King for sure. When I eventually, a million years in the future, make my ranking of all the different Stephen King books, once I've read them all, I definitely see this being towards the top there. And really happy I read it. It's going to keep the Shining, the Stephen King train going in my brain. All right, number one, my favorite book of the month. And this one kind of irritates me because I had it on my shelf for so long and I just never read it. But I'm glad, I guess better late than never. And that is going to be Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. The trailer coming out and me seeing the trailer kind of catapulted this to the front of my mind and lit the fire under my butt to be like, all right, you got to go read this. I'm so happy I did. This book is so much fun. And if you're a fan of science fiction, I definitely recommend reading this one. I was a little worried going into it because it seemed very science heavy, like a lot of jargon and lingo, and I don't know science at all. So I was a bit worried about it, but if that's a fear of yours, don't worry, because it's very accessible. And the main thing around this book is a relationship between two characters. That is one of the most endearing relationships I've ever read in a book, ever. And I absolutely love both of those characters. I don't want to spoil anything about it because I think it's a lot better left to just read it on your own. But it's funny. At times it's heartbreaking. There's great mystery in here as well. The very opening of the book is this guy, Ryland Grace, wakes up on this ship in Earth. Not in Earth, sorry, in space, from Earth. He has no idea like who he is or why he's there, and he slowly starts to get these little flashbacks and unravels this mystery. So it's got great mystery, great science fiction, great camaraderie and character moments, and I couldn't recommend this book enough to literally anybody. I think everybody should read this book, and it made me very, very excited for the movie. So, woo, there we go. All right, good like 14 minutes in or so. So that was my ranking of the books that I read in July. Now, very quickly, I want to go into the books that I plan on reading in the month of August. And I will say, I don't know if me reading 11 books in the month of July has kind of made me cocky, but my August TBR is a little bit... it's a little bloated. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. I'm going to try. I don't have a class that starts until the end of August, so I have like the first like 2/3 of this month to have a lot more free time to try to chip away at it. But let's get into it. All right, so I'm going to start. I should have organized these. There's this book I'm currently reading right now, so you can see my bookmark there. I'm about like halfway through it. That is The Eye of Darkness, which is the first adult novel in Star Wars: The High Republic. Loving this so far. It's so good. This might be up there when I do my overall The High Republic review, but great so far. The Eye of Darkness. Loving that. I am also going to try to read Defy the Storm, which is the first YA novel in the Phase 3 of the High Republic that follows The Eye of Darkness, so I'm going to try to get through that one as well. I'm really, now that the High Republic is over, I'm going to try to fast track it and get through it because I want to finish it. All right, next up, I mentioned that I'm in a book club with my fiance and 2 of my friends. This month it is my turn to pick a book, and I picked The Terror by Dan Simmons, another book that's been on my shelf for a long time. I picked this book up because Nick from the Books Are Sick YouTube channel read this a while ago and said it was awesome, so I went and picked it up, and it's just been sitting on my shelf. I love Books Are Sick. It's one of my favorite YouTube channels of all time, and I like Nick a lot, so anything that he says is good, I pretty much pick up. So I picked up The Terror, and I chose this as my book club book for this month. Also, I've already mentioned it, but I'm going to try to read The Silver Chair, The Last Battle, The Magician's Nephew, and The Horse and His Boy this month. This is my Narnia collection. I'm going to try to read all 4 of those. Already right there, I'm like, I'm probably good, but no, there's more books that I'm going to try to read. Next up, A Court of Silver Flames. I'm going to try to knock out ACOTAR. This book is huge. This book is like 750 pages, but I'm going to try to knock through it. These books are pretty easy reading. They're not hard to get through. It's just the sheer size of them is what makes it take a little bit longer, but I'm going to try to finish out ACOTAR before the month is up. I am also going to try to read The Hero of Ages, the finale of the Mistborn trilogy, because the first 2 books are on my top favorite of all time, so it's about time for me to knock that out and get rid of it. And then I think that's it. Oh, and the last one. This book was on my TBR for July. I started it, but I'm having trouble getting through it, not because I'm not enjoying it, but because this book is very dense. So I'm slowly chipping away at it, and that is The Silmarillion by J.R.R. Tolkien. I'm going to keep this on the back burner. I've been just reading like a chapter or 2 at a time throughout the month. I have a feeling that that's going to last throughout August and maybe go into September. We'll see. But I'm enjoying it a lot. It's just so many different characters and locations and terminology that there's a little like index in the back, and I'm constantly like going back, like, who is that again? Oh, okay. Wait, where is that again? Going back to it. So Silmarillion, I'm loving it, but I'm slowly chipping away at it. So that is my TBR for the month of August. It's a tall order, so I'm gonna actually turn off this video and get to work reading some more because I have a lot to do. But thank you so much for watching this video, y'all, and I will see you next time on my mid-August update.